Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Whiplash, and this movie is directed by Damien Chazelle, and it came out in 2014, starring Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons, and I've seen this movie once before. I missed it while it was in theaters, sadly, and the first time I watched it was on, DVD because I really wanted to see it, and that was, the only way I could watch it, and I really enjoyed it back then, and I do have to admit, the first time I watched it, I kind of knew what to expect from it, because when this movie came out, there were lots of people sharing clips of all the J.K. Simmons moments, when he's just insulting people in this movie, and that's what drew a lot of attention for this movie, and basically everyone just kept comparing him, his character Terrence Fletcher, to the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket. It was basically the biggest comparison for that character, and watching the movie, it does feel that's in a way what they were going for, but at the same time, I didn't feel like they were trying to copy that character. It was kind of just doing its own thing, and as far as my personal feelings go for the movie, this time watching it, I really loved it, and to be honest, I think this time while watching it, I think it was a bit better than the first time I saw it, because I haven't seen this movie for I don't know, at least 8 years. Although I talked about the character Terrence Fletcher a little bit, I do kind of want to mention the performance by J.K. Simmons. I think it was awesome, and I totally think he deserved his Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. He did an amazing job, and not disappointed at all. He completely deserved it, and when you watch the movie, you can definitely see why he won, and it didn't feel like an Oscar bait performance. It just felt like he was playing a character, and he really knew how to portray that, and he did an amazing job. And Miles Teller, I thought, was great in this movie as well, and I liked Andrew Neiman as a character. At first, he kind of feels like a character that is just an average, everyday guy who likes music, and he's just put in a situation where he has to put up with what Terrence Fletcher is putting on him, and he's either gonna make it or he's just gonna break. And you might think that's what the movie is, but there is more to his character than that. He's kind of cold, and he just will do just about anything to pursue his dreams, and they do talk about how if you can either be really successful in this department and live until you're in your 30s, and at that point you'll probably die, but you'll be somebody, or you can not do that and live until you're 90 years old and no one's going to remember you. That's something that the movie touches on, and it made the character's motivation seem very clear, and I'm always behind his character. And I really liked the side characters in the movie as well, all the members of the band. You don't get a whole lot with their characters, and they don't talk much, but where the development for their character comes from is just their performance, and the lack of communication that you get from them, and they're all very cold, and they barely speak, and they're all basically going through what Andrew Neiman is going through the entire film, and the insults that are on screen that Terrence Fletcher is giving to everyone, and just treating everyone horribly. None of it is ever goofy, and that's mostly how it's presented, and J.K. Simmons, how he balances that being very serious and never getting unintentionally goofy. And I like that a lot in the movie, and I love the music in the movie. I love the jazz music that's in the film. Damien Chazelle, he really likes jazz in his movies. That type of music to be in his movies, except First Man. I think that's the only time he didn't really have any jazz music. I could be wrong, but... And this movie is very reserved. It was not even a budget of $5 million, and it looks way better than a movie that costs less than $5 million. And it's just a really great looking movie, and There's lots of very memorable sequences in the film, and lots of really fantastic scenes as well. Like when just you have characters just talking and that's all you get from them. But it's a great dialogue and interesting characters, and none of the drama feels forced and everything feels very natural. And this movie is under 2 hours, and in my memory, or at least in my mind, I was expecting it to be much longer. And once we got to the end of the film, I was like, wow, that was over. And none of it felt like it was going on for too long. It was very fast paced. And that's not really something that I can say about his later movies. Not that they're bad, it's just that something like Babylon, which is like over 3 hours long, and it does not need to be that long at all. I do think this is the prime example of a movie that has the perfect runtime and does not overstay its welcome as far as like everything that I've seen from him. And I know just about everyone who's talked about this movie has probably said this, but the ending to this movie is fantastic, and I think it's like one of the best parts of the entire film. It's just the last act. I would say the entire third act of this movie is incredible, and probably has like one of the best third acts ever to a movie. And it's just what it needs to be. It's perfect. I wouldn't change a thing. That's about all I have to say about Whiplash. It's a fantastic movie that I really loved revisiting, and has great characters and an interesting story, and lots of things that it explores that I really love. A fantastic ending, and the movie looks great. I love the look of the film, and any issue that I have with it is like so minute that like I can't even take off points for it, because it's just like a tiny little thing that only stood out to me. And that is like, it only lasts like 5 seconds, and it's when the band is performing, and it was the trumpet, and I would only know this because I used to play the trumpet back when I was in high school. And basically they were like, I forget what it's called, like they were playing, and to perform this like very specific sound or whatever, like you put a little thing into the horn of the trumpet. I believe that's what it's called. I forget what the thing you put in the horn of the trumpet is called, but basically you would do that to achieve a certain sound. Sorry if this is confusing for anyone. I'm doing the best I can to describe it. And when they showed us the horns of the trumpets that were like playing, you didn't see that thing, and I was like, that's not accurate. But aside from that, the movie's really great, and that's about all I have to say about it. So definitely check this movie out, and I think this is probably Damien Chazelle's best movie. I'll have to revisit La La Land. I saw it once, and I've never seen it again. So who knows? Maybe that'll take my favorite spot for everything that he's directed. Anywho, check this movie out if you haven't already. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Whiplash a 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Whiplash, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Safe. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.